Morning, fellow Toastmasters.
Good morning.
And honored guests. I know we don't have any guests, but but Mary, you're highlighted. Can you think back on a time when you set just a ridiculous goal for yourself? Did this goal make you nervous? Were you anxious, scared, maybe? Did you complete that goal? Right? Did you feel on top of the world? Or did you fail? What did you learn from that experience? Well, I set a pretty audacious goal for myself. I signed up for the Pikes Peak Ascent. So what I'll do is I'll explain a bit about that race, what my training program looks like a little bit, and why you should, yes, you should set yourself an audacious goal. So the Pikes Peak Ascent, I think, got a couple nods in the room. Some people are familiar with it. But for those who aren't, it's a race that starts in downtown Manitou Springs. You go up Bard Trail, so that's the trail up to the top of Pikes Peak. It is 13.32 miles long and 7,800 feet of elevation gain. So it's a pretty intense race. It was started by an anti-tobacco physician in the 50s who challenged smokers that he could make it to the top of Pikes Peak and down before they did. Now, funny enough, that physician is from my hometown of Delray Beach, Florida. So a little connection there. So I guess I had to do it, right? And they say it takes about 1.5 times as long as your typical marathon. Thing is, I've never ran a marathon, so I don't have a basis there. So how do you, well, before I dive into my training, we'll talk a little bit about my history with running. So I never really ran, professionally, as a sport or anything in high school or college, although I was always the fastest on any of my football or basketball teams. So maybe I missed out something there. The longest I've ran is 10 miles. And I did that just a couple weeks ago to qualify for the Pikes Peak Ascent. After college, I got into a couple races and did win third in a 10K trail race outside of Orlando, Florida. Now, when I stood on the podium and looked at the roster, I know why I got in third, because there were only 3 people in my age group that signed up for the 10K. Everyone else had signed up, my age group had signed up for like the half marathon or the marathon, but a trophy's a trophy, right? So how do you accomplish this goal? And any goal, it's all about breaking it into steps, baby steps. So I signed up for 2 other races to help prepare me for the Pikes Peak Ascent. I signed up for the Garden of the Gods 10 mile, that is in June, and that is a 10-mile race through Garden of the Gods. It's pretty hilly and a relatively challenging 10-mile race. The next race I signed up for is in July, and it's called the Bard Trail Mountain Race. So this goes on the same trail as the Ascent, so you get a little familiar with the course. It starts at the Cog Railroad in Manitou, up to Bar Camp, and then back down. It's about 12 miles and change. And I'm sure a couple thousand feet of elevation gain there too. Didn't know that. And so that's in July. So the Ascent is in end of September. So that gives me August and September to get up to higher elevation. So from talking to some friends of mine who have signed up for these races as well, the plan is you drive to the top of Pikes Peak, you go down 3 miles from the top, you go up a mile, down a mile, up 2 miles, down 2 miles, then up 3 miles. And you see you go down 3 at first, so you can't just easily bail out and get to your car when you don't want to do it anymore. I also plan to do the incline just about every Friday. So if anyone wants to join, send me an email, shoot me a text, let's connect here. Happy to do it with you, because it's really important to have a good support system in place when things inevitably get hard. If I'm trying to build that indomitable spirit, it's great to have some couple folks with me to help with that goal. So why should you start an audacious goal? We don't just need to set big goals January 1st or the month of January, right? You can set goals throughout the year that are really big. And of course, my goal is to succeed at these races. I don't have a time in mind. I really just want to finish. But things can inevitably come up. The weather could be bad. My nutrition could not be on point that day. I could get injured. You really don't know. But my goal, of course, is to succeed in these races, but things could come up. But along the way, I'll strengthen my body, learn how to persevere, and hang out with some really cool people. And to me, that's what success looks like. So my challenge to you is to set yourself an audacious goal. The worst that can happen is you'll learn a thing or two about yourself and get better along the way. Thank you.